Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, so let's dive right into it. I don't feel well today, so I want to just get to the subject, but I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. I've kind of forgot it was Monday, so that's how you guys know, like, I don't feel the best. But I wanted to do this video just because I know that when I'm thinking about something and when something is on my heart, that's kind of for me the best time to really speak on it. So let's talk. First things first. PTSD from a workplace or a work environment. I don't know if it's post traumatic stress disorder, right? I'm not a doctor. But what I do notice is that it is very difficult. Like the person that I was when I walked into that initial job, now I'm going into a new job with new people, new surroundings, and I'm really just like, I noticed that in certain ways, I'm afraid to kind of like speak. I'm afraid to speak up. And this is something I have experienced in previous situations in my life, which I feel like I've worked very hard not to really be put back into. But because I don't know the kinds of people that I'm working with just yet, and I know that comes with time, it's almost like in my head, it's like, should I ask? Should I say something? Should I not say something? If I speak up, like I don't know. And I shouldn't have to like that very thought process of questioning myself, right? Um, isn't cool. Okay. So now I found myself in a situation where, I've been without work since about 3 o'clock, right? And obviously I have to stay. I got there at 8:30. I technically should have left at 5:30, right? But I ended up leaving at 5. One, because I have a headache or what I feel like is a headache. I think that's partly due to being extremely bored for the last, 2, 3 hours. But I've had no work. And when I reached out to the, I guess, manager, he's my manager, I think, I don't know, which interesting because they do exactly what I did for the other company. I just did it for tax. Very interesting. But I go to him. Well, I don't really get up and go to him because I'm like, I don't want to get up, but I send him a chat and I ask him if he has any work for me. He did not respond. I'm trying to really separate myself, and it's very difficult to me um, with people who talk to me like they say it's friendly, but I'm like, if you can talk to a 5-year old like that, I don't know how much friendly it is as much as it is like you're not talking to me like a grown ass woman type shit. So I have been really working on myself. Like I'm recognizing, dang, you're kind of like, you need to chill, right? Certain things, but I'm also trying to separate myself so I don't have to be underneath this person for too long, right? And I understand patience and everything, right? But I already know my personality and I know like this ain't gonna work forever. You know what I mean? And it's very interesting because the owner, like I said, he kind of sought me out, like kind of was like, I want you, like reached out to me, like, hey, you know, and I don't know how much of that was because he's, I don't know what that was, right? But what I will say is the conversation had today is they want to keep me. And in my mind, I'm thinking it's because again, I have a skill set, but at the same time, y'all, I gotta make it through all this extra thoughts that I be having in my head at work now, right? So I was sitting with no work and the girl and I were talking. I had to really I initiated this conversation, but not like how I normally would. I just made it very clear I was extremely bored, but I didn't say that in that way, if that makes sense. I kind of hinted towards it. And then the girl was like, well, what do you mean? Like, were you doing work? Like, trying to scope what I'm, where I was at in my work load. And I told her, I said, I don't have any work. You guys, like, I don't have any work. My bookkeeping is done. That's out the way. I have zero work. And her response to me, which she's 100% right on that, because I felt like I should have maybe went to somebody else, but I don't know who yet. Okay. And I'm still, when I meet people for the first time, because I'm reading them, I don't know. It's very like I become off a bit shy. Like I feel like I would much rather be told who I go to versus like having to pick and choose, if that makes sense. So for me, I'm like, okay, if you say you don't have any, like if I'm given work and I'm out of work, my job is to kind of study on my EA. But the tools that I have to study my EA was my book. And I'm like, that's a freaking boring as shiznit. Okay. So what she told me was next time just ask me, and I'll give you plenty of work. Now she's not my boss, but she's the girl that I guess was assigned to train me, and that's okay. Um Again, she's cool, but my personality is not super like extra. Like what I mean by extra is I'm very balanced. I think I'm probably less balanced. So like you may hit me with a high tone and I'm coming at you with a low tone. Like I ain't got time for all that, in my mind. But I gotta be patient with other people. I know that she means no harm. Personality is on point. I mean, she's got a great personality, but I'm thinking in comparison to me, boy, we're two different types of people, right? So we ended up having a meeting. And when she told, first of all, no meeting, let me go back. When she told me that, that's part of like why I wanted to do this video, because I told her, I said, well, listen, now I have no work. It's not about if it happens tomorrow. I'm letting you know today I have no work. And I left at like 5. I took an hour lunch and I left at 5. But I have to also understand, like, I'm training myself to get used to their schedule. But they need to give me some work because I was sitting there bored as all hell. And I know they tell me to ask, but again, when people are new, like I don't really know, like, and it's so quiet in that place. Thank God. Okay. It is so quiet in that place that also doesn't help with the comfortability level. Okay. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to this. And I realized, like I said, when I was on my drive home, I'm like, some of that you not speaking up, because I'm thinking in a regular setting, I would be asking for work. I do want to show that I'm a hard worker, but I need the invite then. I need it out loud. So anybody I go ask, because you're telling me pick and choose, then I will go to whoever. But I'm hoping like they just learn to start assigning me stuff. Like I shouldn't like I understand asking for work to show I'm eager, but I also feel like I'm there. So I should be showing I'm eager. I don't know, like I said, it's typical job stuff, right? Not they didn't do anything. Like I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm just ready to get to the opportunity, if that makes sense. Um, so a lot of that not wanting to get up, not wanting to really, put myself out there too much just yet is partly one because I'm learning them. I'm reading them. It's a whole new scene. It's a whole new different set of staff. Um, and it's a totally different process than what I'm used to and accustomed to. Um, and in my mind right now, I need to know, like, can I do the job? Right? What is this really asking of me? Because I've never seen this type of workflow. So realistically, like I said, I know that I should be able to put myself out there more. It's just difficult when, I really do feel like like I don't want to say PTSD because that's nothing to play with. But there is a level of trauma I think that you do experience at a job that is not necessarily good for you, right? And what I mean by that is not necessarily a job. Like my situation, ignoring me for a full week. I've got other people coming up to me asking me how to do my job, right? And it's so funny because I look at that situation, right? And I look at all the complaints that they had about what I said, the things that I said, right? And when you're dealing with legal situations, let me be clear. First off, when you're writing notes at work, in my personal opinion, as long as you're taking your feelings out of the situation, the more notes the better, right? But I think when people are not really honest and or just kind of cut corners or trying to cut corners in a sense, it becomes more pressing for them to have all of that detail in the notes, right? So if I say, hey, well, I wouldn't say hey, spoke to so and so on this date. This person stated they would do this on this date. That's not me being petty. That's just me really just, you know, making sure things are properly documented, right? Now, if people feel a certain way as a result of that, that's their own prerogative. Like, I would feel like that because it's a legal document. If it was a legal document, right? You would want the more detail, the better. Okay. So in that situation, right, I felt like there were certain things happening, there were certain things said that were ultimately the right things, but because they hit people where they hit them, it was like I'm gonna use that as the complaint for why, anytime I was in a meeting, I'm gonna use it as a complaint. So the entire situation, there were certain things that I just noticed were actually probably should have been happening, but because I was wanted to do differently than what I had done, even though it probably made no sense, but all it did was cover people's ass as what that was. I'm realizing that that is part of when you're reprimanded. It's like the I was watching some TikTok videos where they're saying like, yo, you're on a performance plan, stuff like that. And people are probably not knowing my experience, the performance for some of these folks are probably through the roof. And then you hit them with a performance plan or whatever. And it does something to the psyche. It's like now I'm seeing, oh, well, everything that I really did properly was a complaint because what it did was not allow folks to cover their ass. And that was intentional. It was like, if you're going to put all the work on me, then I need to start documenting how much you're not doing the fucking work. I felt like that's appropriate, and I'm not going to pinpoint the finger. I'm just say, hey, this person was asked at this time to do X, Y, and Z. I don't have any knowledge. I don't see where that project was. I don't know where that was. Like me just putting in detail, that was a problem for them. So that type of stuff, when it's little shit, like shit that shouldn't matter, but it fucking matters, that shit does something to the person that's going through that experience. Because, like I told him, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, right? So, even now, even though I've left the experience, I still feel like I'm walking on eggshells. And the problem is, these people have not given me one reason to feel like that. I don't know why I can't open up. I know a lot of it is because I'm busy scanning the room. I'm always like that. I'm trying to be less like that, or less just, but y'all, I could not get myself to ask anybody, hey, do you need any help? And I know that's not the best way to start off. So tomorrow my plan is to get there early. I'm not gonna get there at 8:30, 8 o'clock, right? I gave myself some time to see what the drive is like, stuff like that. I'm gonna leave probably here at like 7:30, try to get there at 8, right? Well, I know I can get there at 8 by that time, hopefully. We'll see if there's new traffic or whatever. And then really, if now that the door has been open, I'm gonna be asking for more work every step of the way, because I'm ready to take on more work. There's, how I felt today, even in the experience, I was feeling like you need to speak up, maybe go to somebody else, because the person I asked did not respond back to me. And I was like, oh, okay, I see, I'm not going, again, I don't play male bullshit. Again, I don't feel anyway. I don't feel like it was intentional, but I'm just saying, I'm not the girl that's going to repeat myself, right? So if I got to go to somebody else, then cool. And that's just how my personality works. Again, it's not always the way to go about it. Like I said, that girl, because she was so interactive with me, it forced me to be interactive with her, right? And I learned her personality, and then I realized, okay, you're kind of cool. Like, okay, I can do this with work. But again, I appreciate, like I said, I'm new. I'm still working on opening up and not being my shy self, but I'm learning people so that I know, okay, can I say this? Can I say that? How do I go about this? Like, I'm a little bit more cautious now. It's weird. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't like it. So I'm trying to break myself out of that. That's my goal over the next, again, I got to be patient with myself, but I think over the next 90 days, hopefully I'll be able to, and I say 90, hopefully I'll be able to know exactly who I go to. I have spoken to more people, and hopefully I'll be able to get past this. But I do feel like there's a level of trauma that occurs because I'm thinking about, well, what if I say, it's like almost like if I was in the same space, but with the same thoughts. And that's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that I'm in a new environment and I'm not experiencing it in a way that I should experience it. Like, when you're in something new, you should have a new attitude. I'm still more on, can I, like, is this going to last? Can I trust you guys? Like, that's been my mindset. So I just wanted to do a brief check-in. I do believe that that stuff is so real, you guys. But with that being said, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I'm out. Peace.